Right, can you say hello?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to our day. We're in the car, about to leave for our appointment, and it is very weird again being in the car. Can do. I've got like just under 50% battery. You didn't have to. Exactly. Sophie's been in and out of that house 1, 2, 3, 4 times, I think. 4, 5.
87%.
Well, unless you run it down with games whilst I'm in there.
Well, I need the maps to get there, and then to get somewhat back.
And now she's about to go in there again. Is there one? You can't reach it.
What?
I was gonna say, is there one down by the sofa? But you won't get to it. Oh. We will get there eventually. We aim to leave the house for 11. I think it is just gone. We need to get fuel. But we have decided that if we feel brave enough, we have brought Miss Nova Rain and the pram and the girls, and we might, with a huge exclamation mark, go for a walk down the camel trail and let the girls burn off a ton of energy and take Nova for her first pram ride. But we might. We don't know for sure. It's literally all gonna fall on how much bravery we have. The camel trail's not generally busy, and it's not somewhere where it's enclosed or where we have to be static next to people for a long period of time. It is literally a trail where people ride their bikes. There's other dog walkers. Like, it's not close proximity, but it will depend on how brave we are. So watch this space, because we don't know how it's gonna go.
We arrived at Charlie's appointment. We were about an hour to 3/4 of an hour to an hour early, so we kind of just had to sort of like sit in the car for a while, but she's gone in now. Bearing in mind this is a wheelchair services company, they have no disabled parking spaces, and the parking spaces that they do have are like on the smaller side of your normal everyday kind of parking spaces. So right next door to them is St John Ambulance, and we've had to park in one of their empty spaces because otherwise we would have taken up 2 spaces, but we're so long that because the car park's really narrow, people wouldn't be able to get in and out of the car park. So that's not good, because they deal with wheelchair people day in, day out. That's their job. So why the heck do they not have wheelchair like accessible or just disabled parking spaces? I don't get it. But also, they also don't have automatic doors or anything, and it's... Sorry, I got hiccups. And the door is like slightly wider than your average size door. So technically it's a wheelchair width door, but it's split into two. One half isn't the size of a door, and the other half is the size of a small door. And the lady had to come out and like unlock them and everything, and they looked really heavy. So again, that's not accessible at all for somebody in a wheelchair. I don't get it. Like, you'd think that people who are dealing with wheelchair users all the time, like, it just baffles me. It literally baffles me. Like, I had to go over there to go and help Charlie to get in through the door, and I think we were there for like a minute or two, and it just so happened that the wheelchair man, like the brand representative kind of person, he was outside, and he said, can I just have a quick look to just see which one you've currently got, just to check. So if it wasn't for that, like, it gave the lady inside a chance to look up and spot us. But if she hadn't had spotted us, I would have either had to have tried to do that on my own, or like we would have just been sat there in the rain. And it's just awful. I don't like it. And the journey here wasn't that nice either. It's really windy. It keeps raining, and it's just not that nice. Charlie did say that we could have gone to the camel trail on the way home, but I don't know if it's going to be doable or not. Partly because of the fact it keeps raining, but also because my legs don't like driving, because they haven't done it in a long time. And also because I mentioned ages ago that like I keep getting pain in my ankle. Like, we don't know what it is, we don't know what I've done to it, but it just keeps being painful, and driving exacerbates it. I was gonna say exaggerates it, but I don't think that's the word. But anyway, yeah, driving makes it worse. So all good fun, but I've got this next to me, which is pretty beautiful. You can see, look, she keeps undoing her seatbelt, which I don't know how she does it, because she doesn't move. She just lies there, unless it's Dixie, because Dixie likes to sort of try and sit in, behind Albert, so maybe she stood on it and it unclicked it, but I don't know. Like, there's nothing we can do to stop her from doing it. But yeah, don't know. But yeah, so that's so far. I'm sure Charlie will update with what's going on when she gets out.
So, well, I finished my appointment, I'll tell you all that in a minute, but when I got in the car, because we can't go for a walk, because A, it keeps pissing down, and B, I'm gonna piss myself, I've got really sore bits.
You were just talking about, like,
pissing myself?
yeah, and then you said you've got really sore bits, and that you've given yourself sore bits.
No, look.
Yeah, it's probably too weather, maybe.
Yeah.
Have you eaten with a big spoon lately?
No.
Like those spoons?
Our new cutlery, the big spoons keep cutting Soph's mouth. I think that might also be because we're not used to big spoons, though.
I don't know.
No. Before I get into what I was going to say, have you noticed, people, I don't have a steroidal face anymore? If I find a picture, I'll put it in here, right here, of what my face was like before we managed to get down to this level of pred. What am I on? Which is the lowest I've been in quite a long time. But because we can't go out for a walk because of all of that, I really wanted to have Nova in the pram. So because she's not a real baby and you can't really see her, I put her in the pram with me. How stinking cute does she look? And she's got her little unicorn toy and her boofle.
And it's okay, because
She's strapped in.
Down and strapped in so nobody would see.
Yeah. There is a story about Boothall. Huh? No.
You might have to help me.
Okay. There is a story about Boothall, but I don't think Soph and I have told you much of our gay story.
We might I was thinking, after watching Tiff and Harry's, we might have to actually... Are you beeping a lot?
No, it just beeped because you turned the car on.
We might have to do...
Our coming out stories, our how we met, how we got engaged, how we got married. We might have to tell you all that. If that's something that you would like to hear, let us know in the comments, because obviously we don't want to bore you with our love story if you don't want to hear it, basically. But I've just finished with my wheelchair appointment and I'm really happy, but I'll just help Sophie a minute. So, wheelchair. I am so excited. It was so fancy, it's unreal. So first of all, headrest. This one, I said to him that it's concerning because when I'm in the car, because I fall asleep so much, my head slips off if I don't have my neck rest on. Look at the one. You can't see nothing. Yeah. Water. How pretty.
And boats.
Yeah.
Boats.
And ducks and yeah. I do love living in Cornwall.
Yay! Cornwall.
Cornwall. It is so pretty down in Cornwall. Do you have water where you live? As in like this type of water, not a bloody...
It just sounded really funny. You have water.
So yes, they showed me two options for what I could have. The one option was like this, but a lot longer, like in width. And it was the same material as the seat and back cushion. Or I could have a winged one. So both me and the OT said that the winged one would be better because it should hold my head more in place. Then, what?
I wasn't sure if that was more coming up.
The back, they're happy to, like, they could technically fit a back on this chair, but it would need a lot of alterations to do so. And because it's going to be 5 years next year that I've had this chair, they said I've had it long enough, I've looked after it, they're happy to just give me an up-to-date brand new chair and just put everything I need on that chair. Yeah. So we're gonna have it so it like the legs raise. I can tilt back, sat in a seating position, or I could have my leg directly back. No, my back directly back and my legs bent, or I could be 100% flat, which, having that range of movement is going to be amazing. They're changing my foot plates so that they're wider. At the moment my feet are literally touching, and my hips, because I've got hip dysplasia, it pushes my legs out, but because my feet then on the foot plates need to be together, it's caused my legs to be at a funny angle, which sucks and is not going to change it now, but hopefully it should be more comfy with me being in this new position. So they're going to be doing that. The second I transferred, I was like, oh my goodness, these cushions are amazing. I literally said, like, this feels better already. Like, I I literally said, can I have these cushions, because I was blown away with how comfy it was straight away. And they then looked at the cushions on this chair, and I was like, yeah, our dog's like sitting in my chair.
What did they say about that?
They just chuckled. And they turned and said, like, how long have I had these cushions the whole time I've had my chair? Oh, look at the little flowers and the hedgehog. And I was like, I've not had them changed. She was like, you do know that you can change the like, ring us and get the cushions changed. I was like, no, I don't remember that. So at least we know that now.
That is a poorly placed tree.
Yeah. What else was there? When we went into the building, oh my god, they got these little bumpy bits and it was painful. And then when I came out and trialed this chair, it was amazing. I didn't even feel the bumps that I felt going in this chair. It was so different. And I said straight away that it made a difference. And then what else was it? Because I'm an experienced driver, I don't have to have an OT be with the wheelchair rep to have it delivered. They can just come out and change it over, which is amazing because it means that I'm going to get it a lot quicker than what I would ordinarily. What's up? Ambulance.
Nobody behind me noticed that was there.
Yeah, they were all like, what the f is she doing?
And I indicated before I started braking and everything, and they still didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Twats. Very observant.
Yeah, the bikes were going to try and overtake.
Considering it was also on traffic lights.
Yeah, and I think as well that the bikes behind us are actually doing their CBT, and they were going to try and overtake me.
It's wrong. So yeah, hopefully it shouldn't be that long, and we're gonna have the new wheelchair, which obviously I will give you a little rundown. And at the end I was like, can I choose, like, is there any other colour? The blue that I had was stunning, but it's not me. I'm not, well, I've got blue hair, but I didn't want a blue wheelchair.
You're not a blue person, are you? You're an orange and yellow.
Yeah,
Or a red person.
yeah. Yeah. So they turned and said, well, like the OT and the rep looked at each other, and the OT was like, we're not technically allowed, and if yeah, parts with the brake or to fall off or whatever, it would just get replaced with black. And she said, however, you have looked after your chair, you've not needed anything replacing, I will let you choose your colour. And I was like, oh, okay. So there was the choice of red, black, silver, this blue, or burnt orange, which is what I've got now. But at the moment you can only see the orange on the back and underneath. With this new chair, it'll also be on, I think it'll also be on my steering column as well, which is awesome. And I was like, he was like, it is a burnt orange though, not a bright orange. And I was like, that's fine, because the chair I've got now is a burnt orange. And I was like, well, it was a burnt orange, it's now brown with mud, but it was still orange. So yeah, I got to choose the colour of my wheelchair as well, which is just awesome. When, like, I think it's wrong that you can't choose regularly, because at the end of the day, you're in it 24/7, or like 99% of the time, and it is your legs. You get to choose what shoes you want, your clothes or whatever else if you're walking. So why can't you choose your wheelchair? It's like with my manual chair. I really wanted a type of chair that they would not give me. I'll put it in here of what I wanted, and they just refused. And like, the wheels would have been smaller. I think if I had had this chair that I want, I think I would have been able to have stayed in a manual chair for a lot longer, because the chair that I do have is just shit, and it's really hard to move. The wheels are bulky. It's just awful, and it's like really heavy. And if I was to have be given that other chair anyway, I wouldn't have been able to have choose the colour of that either. It would have had to have been black. And I just don't think it's fair. Like the wheelchair rep said, it doesn't cost any more to have a colour. No. So it's like, well, why can't we choose our colours then? If it doesn't cost anything. Yeah, but he literally turned and said it doesn't cost anything, so it's up to the OT if they want that, like they're happy to have a colour. And I just think it's ridiculous if it doesn't cost anything extra. Why can't you then have a colour of your choice? Makes no sense at all. So hopefully it won't be long and we'll have a new chair to show you. But for now, yeah, we are on our way home. Oh, and another thing was, the OT, like, when I went into the other chair, I was like, oh, I'm not used to like the knobby sticky thing. I'm used to like my seasonal ducks or my octopus or something like that. She was like, I have to admit, I've never seen an octopus before. And I was like, the octopus is good, and it changes colour with like when it gets like hot or with some heat. And I was like, it goes purple. So she was there trying to change the colour of it, and it wouldn't go because it was just cold there and the door was open and whatever. And then as I came out, Sophie was like, did you clean it? I was like, I did. I used alcohol gel on it. But they were really good. Even when we first got there, the wheelchair rep was like, oh, can I just have a look at your chair? And he was like, let me go get my mask first. And I thought that was really good, because he didn't have to, because he didn't really come close to me. No, exactly. And they wore like gloves, apron, mask. They were really good at protecting me, because when we were listing off like all my illnesses, she was like, oh, you're in proper shielding then. I was like, yeah, I've been in it since March. Like, this is only the second time I've left the house to go further than our town, really, because technically it's the third, but obviously the second time was only to get my flu jab. It wasn't really out anywhere. So I was like, literally, I'm fully needing to be protected, and they were respectful of that, and they did everything they could to help me, which I think is amazing. It's like, props to them. Yeah, it's just, it's really not that hard, and these three people have proved how unhard that it is to basically put your head on and think about others. Yeah, so I've just said that it's also nice because obviously it's helpful for those with really like bad anxieties like us and stuff like that. So yay! Now we're on our way home, stopping via the services though, because I am about to wet myself. So we're gonna have to go into an environment we're not really happy with, but I don't have a bucket in the car today. So let's get to them services.